Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Gananaham Tva Ganapatigum Havamahe Kavim Kahinam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anasrinvan Utibhisi Dasadanam Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhirvajinivati Dheenama Vitrayavato Ganeshaya Namaha Saraswatyai Namaha Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Sasivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopasantaye Yasya Dvirada Vaktradhya Parishadhya Parasatam Vignam Nignanti Satatam Vishwaksenam Tam Astraye Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheswaraha Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Om Partaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamruta Varshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadasadhyayinim Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gita Bhavatveshinim. So Bhagavan's grace, we came up to Slokam number 2 and 14th Adhyayam. Idam Jnanam Upasritya Mama Sadharmyam Agataha Sargepi Na Upajayante Pralayena Vetanti Cha. This Idam Jnanam, this knowledge Bhagavan talks about in Slokam 1, that is nothing but the knowledge of Atma, knowledge of Kshetrajna, the Purusha, the Dehi, whatever name you call it, the indweller that is always present and activating and supporting everything. And that Jnanam, knowing about him. Arjuna asks Krishna, why should I know about Kshetrajna? Why is it so important? Right? And Bhagavan answers, it is not given here in the Gita, but these are all discussions that take place between Bhagavan and Arjuna in between. And Krishna answers, the knowledge of Kshetrajna is the most important. The indweller, knowledge of the indweller is the most important. And then Arjuna asks the question, if that is so, then who is it that is going through the sadness and the happiness and the sorrow and the difficulties and the miseries and all that? Is it the body or is it the indweller? And that is what prompted this Adhyayam, where Bhagavan says, and he's going to describe now how the Kshetrajna, when he's attached to the three gunas of nature, the Prakriti's three gunas, how he gets deluded, the Kshetrajna gets deluded, Kshetrajna associated with the Prakriti, right? And the last slokam of the previous chapter, previous Adhyayam, Bhagavan says, one who knows the difference between the Kshetra and the Kshetrajna. You remember that? If not, review that again. So it is very important. Bhagavan is focusing our attention on the indweller and how we while each one of us is the same as the Atma that is resident within us, the one Atma, how come we don't realize it? How come we don't recognize it? How come we don't even think about it sometimes? How come we don't experience our own self? That is because of the three gunas of the Prakritis and our association with the three gunas. And where do the three gunas come from and what do they lead to? And once understanding the three gunas and embracing the divinity, the indweller that is present in the three gunas, right, then we can embrace the indweller within us. So that is the essence of this particular Adhyayam, Guna Thraya Vibhaga Yoga. Now moving on to Slokam number 3. My dear Bharata, the limitlessly vast and expansive nature is my womb. In it, I have placed the seed of creation. All beings are born from this seed. The primal desire to create is placed in which is the seed of creation, placed in this nature, which is my womb, he says, the vast, expansive, limitless nature. That is my womb. And all beings are born from my primal desire, the seed of creation. The same thing on a scientific basis that makes the cells grow and divide. Cells grow and divide. What is it that causes that? Everything is related to that. Okay? Mama yonihi mahad brahma tasmin garbham dadhami aham sambhavah sarvabhutanam tataha bhavati bharata. Mama yonihi mahad brahma tasmin garbham dadham yaham sambhavah sarvabhutanam tato bhavati bharata. Mama yonihi mahad brahma tasmin garbham dadham yaham sambhavah sarvabhutanam tato bhavati bharata. Padangal are Mama yonihi mahad brahma tasmin garbham dadhami aham sambhavah sarvabhutanam tato tataha bhavati bharata. Bharata, Arjuna, Mama yonihi, Mama, my, yonihi. See, yonihi is like a chetram. It is a hen upadhi, a vehicle, right? It is an embodiment. Mahad, it is, what is it? What is my Chetra in the nature? Where is Bhagavan present? He says, Mahad Brahma. It is most expansive, bigger than the biggest. And not only that, because it is so vast and expansive, that also contains everything in it. And not only contains it, it also supports it. Tasmin, in that, aham, I, garbham. Garbham is the seed of creation. Okay? Everything that gets created has to come from a seed. And that garbham, that seed of creation, dadhami, I place it there. Tataha, from that, sarvabhutanam, all beings, sambhavaha, get created or born. Bhavati, this birth of all the beings takes place from this fundamental seed of creation. The seed of creation is nothing but primal desire. And Bhagavan will explain later, that comes in the next adhyayam, and what is the seed of creation is, right? Mama yonihi mahad brahma tasmin garbham dadamyaham sambhavah sarvabhutanam tato bhavati bharata. Slokam number 4. My dear son of Kunti, nature is the mother for all the forms, whatever they be that take birth from all wombs. I am their father, the giver of the seed for all forms. Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtayah sambhavanti yaha tasam brahma mahat yonihi aham bija pradaha pita. Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtayah sambhavanti yaha tasam brahma mahat yonihi aham bija pradaha pita. Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtayah sambhavanti yaha tasam brahma mahat yonihi aham bija pradaha pita. Padangal are Sarva yonishu kaunteya murtayah sambhavanti yaha tasam brahma mahat yonihi aham bija pradaha pita. Kaunteya, Sarva yonishu. There are so many wombs in the world, whether it's animals or human beings or trees or whatever, right? So many wombs are there. From those wombs, Ya Murtayaha, whatever forms, Murti means forms, whatever forms, the shapes and forms, right, Sambhavanti, are born, Tasam, for all of them, Brahma Mahat, the Mahat Brahma that Bhagavan mentioned in the previous Slokam, Brahma Mahat, Mahat Brahma, that mostly expansive Kshetra, the Mahat Brahma Yonihi, the most expansive and vast Kshetra of Bhagavan, which is nature, right? That the embodiment, Bhagavan is Virada Purusha, it's Purushottam says, present everywhere. That Garbham, that Yonihi, that is the for all the worms and all the forms that take birth in various wombs in this world, in this universe, for all of them, they're all born in the Mahat Brahma Yonihi, in this Virada Purusha, the most expansive thing that is present, the entity that is present. And for that, Aham, I, Bija Pradaha, the giver of the creation, the seed of creation, Pita. He says Pita means father, and Pita also means the supporter. Sarva Yodishu Kaunteya Murtaya Sambhavanti Yaha Tasam Brahma Mahat Yonihi Aham Bija Pradaha Pita. Now, various forms and embodiments have taken place. Bhagavan says, I am the giver of the seed of creation. I am the one who has created them. So now what happens? Okay, Bhagavan is describing. After creating all the various forms, which is you and me and everything else, how come we have gone separate from our own father, from our own mother? What is exactly happening here, right? That is what the next few slokams of Bhagavan is going to teach that. Slokam number 5. O mighty shouldered one, 3 tendencies, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, are born in nature. They delusively bind the indestructible indweller to the destructible bodies. Very important to understand. That's why I think I am this body, I am so and so, even though I am no different from the indweller, but I think differently. Why? Because of the associating with the 3 gunas that are also created by the indweller. Okay? Sattvam Rajastama iti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha nibadhanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Sattvam Rajastama iti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha nibadhanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Once more, Sattvam Rajastama iti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha nibadhanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Padangal Sattvam Rajaha Tamaha iti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha nibadhanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Mahabaho, mighty shouldered Arjuna. Right? Mighty shouldered means very strong shoulders. Such a great warrior he was. Sattvam Rajaha Tamaha iti. Sattvam Rajaha Tamaha. Thus, these are the Prakriti Sambhavaha. Prakriti, we covered that earlier. We call it nature in English. Sanskritam it is Prakriti. Purusha and Prakriti. Prakriti is Bhagavan, created by Bhagavan. Okay, Sambhavaha. From that, originating from being born out of nature, Prakriti Sambhavaha. What are those? Sattvam Rajaha Tamaha Gunaha. These gunaha, these characteristic tendencies, the impulses that we have, the various tendencies that impel us all the time, that move us here and there. You know, we are under the control of those 3 gunas. And again, go back to Adhyaya number 3. Bhagavan talks about how whether we like to do it or not, the impulses of the nature, the natural tendencies will compel us to do work, right? Remember that? So that's the guna that Bhagavan is describing in detail here. So, Prakriti Sambhavaha Gunaha Dehe, in this body, the present in this body, Avyayam Dehinam, the indestructible indweller who is present in this body, and the Nibadhanti, they bind these gunas born out of nature, bind the indestructible indweller who is present in this body. How do they bind? Only when you associate with them. If you detach and look at the gunas as a witness, then they don't bind you. That also Bhagavan will teach you later in this adhyayam. Sattvam rajastamayiti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha nibadhanti mahabaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Slokam number 6. My dear sinless Arjuna, the pure, illumining and harmless sattva tendency delusively binds the indweller to the body through its attachment to pleasure and knowledge. I want to know, I want to enjoy. That tendency is sattvic tendency. By associating with that tendency, I get bound to the body that I am occupying. That's a basic message. Okay? Slokam number 6. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakasakam anamayam sukasangena badhnati jnanasangena cha anaga. He says, Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam anamayam sukasangena badhnati jnanasangena cha anaga. Once more. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam anamayam sukha sangena badhnati jnana sangena cha anagha. Anagha means sinless one who is very pure. Pure means in the company of Bhagavan. That's where the purity is. Tatra, among these three, sattvam, rajas and tamas gunangal that Bhagavan talked about, Sattvam, the sattva gunam, the sattvic tendency, what does it do? Say, nirmalatvat. It is very pure. Malam means dirt, and nirmalam means absence of dirt, very pure. Okay. Not only that, prakashakam, it is also quite illuminating. Illumination does not mean comes like a big illuminating of the body. Okay, that also takes place later. But it gives light to the conduct of the mind, right? It shows the pathway in which we have to follow. Right? That's the illumination Bhagavan talks, prakashakam. Anamayam means it is sans any diseases or illnesses. Okay? Anamayam. Sukasangena cha. Sangam means junction, attachment to, coming together. Coming together with what? Sukam. Pleasure. I want comfort. I want pleasure. That joining together with that. Sukasangena cha. Not only that. Jnanasangena cha. I want to know. I want knowledge. Right? That impulse which is showing the pathway but binds you to the body through seeking pleasure and comfort and through seeking knowledge. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam anamayam sukha sangena badhnati jnana sangena cha anagha. Slokam number 7. So that is sattvic gunam. What does rajasic do? My dear son of Kunti, the rajasic tendency shows itself in the form of desire, aggressiveness and acquisitiveness. It delusively binds the indweller to the body through attachment to action. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi trishna sanga samudbhavam tat nibadhnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi trishna sanga samudbhavam tat nibadhnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi trishna sanga samudbhavam tan nibadhnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. Padangal Rajaha ragatmakam vidhi trishna sanga samudbhavam tat nibadhnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. Now, Kaunteya, Bhagavan says, Kaunteya, listen. Rajaha, this rajasic tendency, rajasic gunam, what does it do? Ragatmakam. Ragam means desire, something, wanting something, desiring something. Ragatmakam. It is the shape of desire itself. And not only that, once you have desire, what happens? A desire can never be fulfilled. The only place that desires find fulfillment is at the lotus feet. In the company of Bhagavan, the company of Bhagavatas, is only when desires get fulfilled. Because the desires do not rise. There is no more desires. Everywhere else, when a desire comes, what is the result? More of the same, which means greed. The greed is called Trishna. Trishna means a highly extreme form of desire, insatiable. That aspect, Trishna. So once a ragam comes, immediately you come to the junction, the company, the sangam of Trishna. Greed comes from it. So from ragam, Trishna, you attach to greed, and not only the greed, it becomes samudbhavam. It becomes like a big pouring rain, a torrential rain. It comes up with so much force, right? We all have experienced it, how greed comes like a demon. That's what Bhagavan talks about. Ragatmakam Trishna Sanga Samudbhavam. Now you understand that. So this Rajasic Gunam, Ragatmakam Trishna Sanga Samudbhavam, thus Vidhi, know the Rajasic Guna to be this. Vidhi means know. Tat, that Rajasic Gunam, what does it do? Tat, Karma Sangena, through the bondage, attachment to actions, Dehinam, the indweller, Nibadhnati, it binds the indweller. It's all, the indweller delusionally binds itself to action. Because remember, Bhagavan talked about in Adhyayam 3 or Adhyayam 4, if you go back, he said, I am explaining to you karma, vikarma and akarma. This akarma is indweller, actionless. But if that gets bound to action because of Rajasic tendencies. And why does it get bound to action through Rajasic tendencies? Because Rajasic tendency is nothing but gives rise to desire. That tendency pushes you to want something. Desire and Trishna and all comes from there. In order to achieve it, we get into action. That is how the indweller gets bound delusionally to the body through Rajasic tendency. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi Trishna sanga samudbhavam tannibadhnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. Now, what does the tamasic tendency do? Slokam number 8. My dear Bharata, know that the tamasic tendency is born from ignorance and deludes all embodiments. It binds the indweller to the bodies through delusion, lethargy and sleep. Remember Arjuna's, one of the appellations that Bhagavan uses to call Arjuna is Gudakesa. Gudakesa means one who has conquered sleep, right? Remember that. So tamastvajnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nidrabihi tat nibadhnati bharata. Tamastu ajnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nidrabihi tat nibadhnati bharata. Tamastu tamaha tu, tamastu ajnanajam viddhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nidrabihi tat nibadhnati bharata. Padangal tamaha tu ajnanajam viddhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadaha alasya nidrabihi tat nibadhnati bharata. Bharata, tamaha tu, the tamas tendency, the tamasic tendency, the tamas gunam, tamo gunam, what does it do? Ajnanajam viddhi, ajnanajam, that means born from ignorance. Born from ignorance. Ignorance means what? Ignorance, the feeling that I am separate from the indweller. So being born from that fundamental ignorance. Okay? I always consider my indweller to be separate from me, to be somebody foreign. That is the ignorance. Ajnanajam, born from that ignorance, sarvadehinam, in all beings, in all the bodies, in all embodiments, right? Mohanam, delusion. Viddhi, it creates delusion. It makes all the beings deluded. Viddhi, know it, thus. No. Viddhi means no. Tat, that tamasic gunam, what does it do? Pramadaha, alasya, nidrabihi. Pramadam. You have seen this word before. Let me remind you where Arjuna talks to Krishna. Oh Bhagavan, this mind is pramadaha. Okay, is bhalatwan. It is so forceful and it is so intoxicating. It's intoxicated all the time. And how do I control my mind? But he talks about it. So that pramadaha means intoxicated, which is what we all are. Intoxicated not only through liquor. Okay, that is only one form. But we are intoxicated through various things. Okay, so that is why Bhagavan, that madhu means intoxication of various forms, not only the liquor, that alcohol that people talk about. That you could be intoxicated through somebody praises you, so intoxicated when they say you sang well or whatever it is. So many things, or your children are so good, whatever it is. Everything is intoxicating. So Madhusudanaha, the Bhagavan's appellation that Arjuna uses, that means one who has conquered the intoxicating impulse, intoxication, madhu, that means no ego. That's what it means. So here, pramadaha means intoxicated. Alasya means laziness, lethargy, right? And nidrabihi, nidra means sleep. So all these tats, that tamasic gunam, pramada alasya nidrabihi, it gives rise to intoxication, gives rise to laziness, procrastination, so many things, right? And also nidrabihi, gives rise to sleep. Through these, nibadhnati, it binds the dehinaha from the previous slokam. It binds the indweller associated with this tendency. It binds the indweller to the body. How does the dehi get bound to the deham? That is what he's talking about. So the three tendencies have been briefly described. Slokam number 8. Tamas prajnanajam viddhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nidrabihi tadnibadhnati bharata. We will do one more today and close after that. Slokam number 9. My dear Bharata, the sattva tendency attaches you to pleasure. The rajasic tendency attaches you to action. And the tamasic tendency wields your innate wisdom and attaches you to delusion. The basic summary of the first three slokams are given here. Sattvam sukhe sajjayati rajaha karmani bharata jnanam avrutya tu tamaha pramade sajjayatyuta. Sattvam sukhe sajjayati Sattvam sukhe sanjayati, because that's in. Okay. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajaha karmani bharata jnanam avrutya tu tamaha pramade sanjayat yuta. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajah karmani bharata. Jnanam avritya tu tamaha pramade sanjayati uta. Padangal Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajah karmani bharata. Jnanam avritya tu tamaha pramade sanjayati uta. Bharata, Sattvam, the Sattva Gunam, Sukhe Sanjayati, Sukhe, in pleasure, Sanjayati, takes you to pleasure. Sanjayati means takes you there. Rajaha, the Rajasic Gunam, Karmani, to action, Sanjayati, it takes you towards action. Now, Uta, and on top of that, in addition, okay, the very last phrase is Uta. Uta is additionally, on top of that, Tamaha tu, the tamasic gunam, you see what does it do? Jnanam, the knowledge that that we are the individual, we are the Atma, that Jnanam, Avritya, hiding that thing, hiding that with the wheel, okay, putting the wheel of delusion, hides that knowledge, and pramade, it takes you to pramade sanjayati, it takes you towards intoxication. Intoxication is nothing but ego gratification. If you want to look at it that way, all that we do, we want to be our ego has to be gratified, right? Think about it, reflect on that. Then you realize the truth of this statement. So this is a summary of the three gunas. Then Bhagavan describes it more later. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajah karmani bharata jnanam avritya tu tamaha pramade sanjayatyuta. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastalokaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.